Hi everybody and welcome to a Grimdark Future Firefight Battle Report. Orc Marauders versus Elven Jesters. Most of the formerly inhabited areas of the Legatos Sector are now abandoned. In a once proud city, a huge statue of an ancient alien species towers over the city ruins. A group of Orc Marauders have spotted strange green glowing crystals surrounding the statue, and they look too valuable not to salvage. The green crystals are indeed valuable, but they could also be dangerous. An unknown contact has hired a mercenary group of Elven Jesters to get their hands on the crystals as well. They've taken the job, even though they don't know who they're working for. The orcs are led by a boss leader. He is armed with a boss pistol and ultra axe. He has commando gear and he is a gun freak. And with him he has two commandos. They are armed with carbines and they have stealth and strider. And then two orcs with pistols and ultra axes, and finally a specialist orc with rocket launcher. And of course, all the orcs are furious and bad shots. They face a group of Elven Jesters and they don't look like much, but they are led by a fool champion armed with master shot pistols, then a fool also armed with short pistol, and then there are three Jesters and they are armed with short pistols and deathly caress. But all the Elven Jesters have dodge, they are fast, they are furious, they have stealth and strider. And here we have a top view of the battlefield with the mysterious green statue in the middle. And around the city complex where the Elven Jesters have deployed at the upper right corner are scattered 10 green glowing crystals. And this is a mission-based battle. On the lower left side of the battlefield, the orcs have deployed. And there are mission objectives that will earn the force's victory points, and these are to gather most crystals, to conserve attrition, headhunter, and most units at the end of round 4. The forces will earn victory points by completing these objectives, and the winner will be the force with the most victory points at the end of round 4. Now, with all that out of the way, let's roll off to see who will activate first. The orcs will roll the green dice and the Elven Jesters will roll the orange dice. And we'll have to roll again. And this time we have a winner. The Elven Jesters will activate first. Let's go to round 1. The first unit to activate is the Fool, and he is fast. He will rush up the battlefield. He could also be careless. But when a unit ends the activation next to a green crystal, they will score the crystal. So 1 crystal for the Elven Jesters. Then this Orc Commando will advance into this crater, also with a crystal, but it takes him into shooting range of the Fool. He can shoot 2 times with his carbine, but he will need 6s because he is a bad shot and the Fool has the dodge ability. So as usual with the orcs, there will be no hits, but he will score a crystal. Then a Jester will move out of cover and across the battlefield to score another crystal. They have a really low defense, but they seem to rely on their dodge and stealth abilities. Yet another green crystals for the Jesters. The specialist orc moves down from the ruined building. He's armed with a rocket launcher and he is Shooty. He will need a 6 to hit, but if he rolls a 6, the hit will be multiplied. But that was close, but he misfires his rocket. The next Jester is on the move and he can move and advance 8 inches. That will not take him to the crystal, but it will take him into firing range of the orc with the rocket launcher. The Jester is armed with a 12-inch range short pistol. He has one shot, and unlike the orcs, he is a good shot. He will need a 3, and that's a solid hit. The short pistol is rending, but it has no AP, so the orc must block with a roll of 5 if you want to avoid the shot. When he fails his defense roll, the specialist orc is shot. He will take 1 wound and he will be forced to roll on the wound chart. He could be the first casualty of the game. We will see. And there it is. It's too much. He will not be on his feet again. Removed from this battle. The orcs are too far away to get any of their close combat attacks in here, but they have to rely on their shooting, and this orc will have 1 shot, and that is not their favorite. As we know, yet again, it's a failed shot. Instead, this Jester will go down from the building, and he will take a crystal. Then the orcs again, and this orc commando on the top of the building is within shooting range with his carbine. He will fire 2 shots. Again, he needs 6s. He shoots bad enough already, and the Jesters are just moving too fast. They dodge the bullets. And that gives the Jesters another crystal. They really use their speed as an advantage in the crystal hunt. So right now, the orcs really don't know if they have to hunt crystals or elves, but this orc will rush forward. And that will end his activation. There are no more Jesters in this round that can move, so finally the orc boss leader will take a crystal and claim that as the last activation of round number 1. 1 casualty in this first round, and the elves and the orcs continue their hunt for the green crystals. And both sides suddenly thought they saw the statue moving slightly, but of course it could be their imagination. And in this first round, the elves managed to get their hands on 4 green crystals. And that will take them into the lead in the crystal hunt. The orcs got 2 crystals, and you need 6 to win. Let's go to round number 2. The Fool will be the first to activate again, and he will advance forward and he will take another crystal. This is crystal number 5. But he can also shoot this time, so he will target an orc and he will fire his short pistol. But he will not hit anything. He will take the crystal though. And now, finally, an orc is within charge range, and he will run past the crystal and charge the Jester. He has 2 attacks. Normally, he would need 4s, but because of the Jester's dodge ability, he will need 5s. And he's furious, so he will most likely prefer 6s. But we have 1 regular hit, and the Ultra Axe is AP1, and that will force the Jester to roll a 6. And as expected, nobody really wants to get into a close combat fight with an orc. The Jester goes down, and he must roll on the wound chart now, and he will survive for now. He's stunned. And the orc will move back an inch, and that will put him right next to the crystal. But the Jesters are also up to a charge, and this one passes the crystal and charges into the orc. He is armed with Deathly Caress, 2 attacks. He will hit on a 3. And there will be 1 hit. It's AP1. It's a regular hit. The Deathly Caress is rending, but the orc will need a 6 no matter what, and he fails his defense roll. So he's not able to fight back now. He goes down. Maybe he's out. And no, he will be stunned. And the elf here will move back 1 inch. Now the Orc Commando. He could shoot his carbine, but instead he is wise enough to charge and use his close combat attacks. He has 2 attacks. Normally he would hit on 4. Now he needs 5s because of the dodge ability. And if he rolled 6, he could have another hit. He is furious, but he will hit the Jester, and the Jester will block the attack with a roll of 5. Now he can turn around and fight back. He has already fought and he's fatigued. He will need 6s, and he will not hit the Orc. No hits at all in this fight. And the Orc will move back 1 inch, but not far enough to get the crystal. Another Jester will prepare a charge, and he will go straight for the Orc here. 2 attacks with his Deathly Caress. He needs 3s, and there will be 1 rending hit and a miss. But the rending hit, of course, will force the Orc to roll 6. That could be the end of him. Oh, he will block the attack, and that gives him the opportunity to fight back. He will continue to roll 6s. He has fought before. Let's see if he can do it. And he will hit. But the Jester will block this attack. Off screen he will not be hit, and both of them will be standing. The Orc Commando here on the building. He has had plenty of time to aim, so why not take 2 carbine shots at this Jester? He is very close after all. Let's see if he can hit anything. Oh, no. Now it's the Fool Champion, and she is not willing to charge the Orc here. Instead, she will fire twice with her Master Shot pistol, and she will not hit anything. And that leaves the boss leader to charge the Fool with his Ultra Axe. Normally, he will hit on a roll of 3, but he will need 4s to hit the dodging Fool. So let's see 2 attacks. And he rolls 6s. He will most definitely hit the Fool, and I forgot about his Furious ability. This would have been 4 hits, but it doesn't really matter because the Fool will not block. He will block 1 of the hits, but fail the other, and then he will be forced to roll on the wound chart. Remember, he should have had 2 more hits to block. But let's see if fate will catch up with him, and it will. He is taken out by the Orc leader. And the final activations of this round will be this Jester. He will get back up, he's no longer stunned, and this Orc will do exactly the same. And that was the end of the second round. A lot of close combat fighting, and a Fool who was taken out by the Orc leader. And then the Elven Jesters collected 6 crystals, and that will secure them 2 victory points so far. And the Orc Marauders have collected 3 crystals. They will have to look for victory points elsewhere. It's round number 3. But before we begin round 3, suddenly a movement on the mysterious statue. The shoulder cannon will move, and it will aim at a random target on the battlefield. We will choose the targets from left to right, rolling a 10-sided die, and it will be number 3. It's the Elven Jester. Right at the passageway, he will be hit by the statue's shoulder cannon, a red beam of light, and he will be hit with an AP4 attack. And he will not block the hit. He is shot by a laser, and he goes down with 1 wound that could take him out. He will roll on the wound chart, and he will pass. He's stunned from the beginning of this round. The forces are shocked by the sudden actions of the statue, but they will continue to fight. They have a mission to complete. And the Elven Jesters will activate first this time. They finished first in the previous round, so once again they will begin. And the Fool Champion will move back. She will not get anywhere near the orcs. Instead, she will fire her Master Shard pistol, and she will fire twice. This time, she will hit with one of the shots. It's not a powerful shot, but the orc must, of course, block it, and it's a roll of 4. It's not enough. The orcs have a rather weak defense, so he will take one hit, go down, and the roll on the wound chart is a 3. He is stunned, but in a very, very unfortunate position. So now the orcs must think. They could get the stunned orc back up, but they also have a stunned jester, and they decide, of course, to attack the stunned jester, and by doing so, removing him from the battlefield. So that will give them one more elf casualty, but of course they did not think so far ahead that it will cost them one as well. And in a chain of events, the jester removes the stunned orc, and now he is close enough to be charged by the boss leader. So he will charge him with his 2 Ultra Axe attacks. Again, if he rolls 6s, he will get additional hits. So let's see what he can do. He will hit on rolls of 4, so there will be 1 hit with the Ultra Axe. It's AP 1, the jester must roll 6. And he will roll a 6. They have proven to be a lot more tough than expected. The jester can now fight back with his Deathly Caress, 2 attacks. And he will hit on rolls of 3, so there will be 2 hits back. The orc boss leader has a defense of 4. And with AP 1, he is forced to roll 5, and he will block 1 of the hits and still take 1 wound. But with a tough value of 3, he will easily shake that off. Now this jester will take a chance. He will charge this orc with his Deathly Caress, and he will have 1 hit. And the orc must roll a 6 to block. And this could be a very important roll. He will fail, and that will take him down with 1 wound. If he is removed now, the orcs will go down to half strength, and the Elven Jesters will complete the attrition mission, and they will. He is taken out of this battle. The orcs can still complete the conserve mission, but that's another victory point for the Elven Jesters. Fueled by anger, this orc will try to avenge his fallen brother. He will attack. 2 attacks, he will hit on 5s, and he will fail completely. And the jester can fight back now, but only with 6s, because he has already fought this round, and he will also fail his hits. So no hits, and the orc will move back. It's definitely not looking good for the orcs here at the end of the 3rd round. They will have to pass morale tests, and the new 3.2.0 rolls, a failed morale test will not remove the unit. Instead, the unit will be stunned. So this orc failed the morale tests. He will still be in the game, but he will be on the ground. And the other orc did pass, and now the boss leader, he will also fail, and that's a disaster. He is also stunned from the beginning of round 4. And the jesters are not down to half strength yet, so they will not have to make any morale tests. It will take a miracle for the orcs to get back in this game, or maybe a statue. Let's see in round 4. And again, the statue will come to life. The cannon will aim at a random target, again from left to right, and it's also a jester this time. The jester here will be the target of the laser cannon. Again, it's an AP4 attack. The jester must roll 6 to block the laser, otherwise he will be hit, and he will not block. He goes down with 1 wound, and he will be stunned here, if not removed. Let's see. And he will be stunned from the beginning of this round. And now the Fool Champion finally will get closer to the heat of the battle. She will charge the stunned Orc leader, and she will kill him. And the Elven Jesters have completed the Headhunter mission. So this Orc will activate, and he will run around this Jester, and instead he will charge the stunned one, and that takes the Elven Jesters below half strength as well. That's 1 victory point for attrition, and at the same time the Jesters will not be able to complete the conserve mission. But it's not over yet. Another Jester will charge a stunned Orc and remove him from the battle. Only 1 Orc and 2 Jesters at the end of this round, and they will all have to pass morale tests. The Orc failed, he's stunned. Now the Fool Champion, she will need a 5, and she's not able to do that. She also goes down here in the heat of the battle. It was just too much for her. That leaves 1 Jester. He needs a 3 to pass the morale test, and he is good. And that gives the Jesters 2 more victory points for most units at the end of round 4. That will be a final score of 6 victory points for the Elven Jesters and 1 victory point for the Orc Marauders. A clear Elven Jester victory, and they can go home to their mysterious employer with the green crystals, leaving the statue behind. Thanks very much for watching this battle report. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you'll join me for future bat reps.